Well, I'm standing here today because when I moved here in 2009, I was immediately struck by the number of dead-end streets in St. Louis. And I wanted to know why we kept chopping our streets up and telling people they can't go down them. And so today I'm standing here because we're shutting a street down, not in the name of crime control, but in the name of community, and specifically in Cherokee Street community.
We're shutting down the street, and there's going to be a huge stage in the middle of the street with lights, and we're going to do a play about this neighborhood with people from the neighborhood in it.
The real act of innovation and the real act of creation is a group effort.
I wanted to involve as many people as I could into the process, so that meant going door to door, conducting as many story circles, interviews and meetings as possible so that we can involve the community as much as we could.
We walked door to door for a while. We would just show up and try to explain what we were doing.
The playwright or the author came and interviewed the community and got really close to some of us and picked up a lot of essential pieces that put us all together as a puzzle.
We'd sort of hit a vein with somebody and they would start telling us stories, and that's what we were really looking for, narrative and stories.
There's not really any amateurs in this at all, you know. The residents are the experts, and we need them to help us tell the story.
We'd all been to Cherokee Street, but we were looking at it with a completely different eye, like really trying to understand what goes on here, you know, what life on the street is like. The Tempest is about a magical place, and there are people living there who are all very different from each other. And then people from far away who are very different come to that place. We call them the strangers from California. And it's this sort of magical island where people who are very different find a way to overcome huge obstacles to experience some magic at the end.
We're both sailors and we're chess pieces too, and yeah.
So we're a few of everything.
I play Ariel, who is enslaved by Prospero.
Call immigration if you want a free trip back to Mexico.
I play a mystical character with magical powers and singing abilities.
I remember when we were talking about casting, I was like, Minerva has got to have a really good role. She's got to have a good role, and she's got to sing.
There's been a lot of favorite parts of the process, but I think my single most favorite was probably getting to meet Minerva, who plays Ariel. And like I said, she plays guitar as well, so she taught me the Wampango ritmo that was required for the song we did together. And we became fast friends through that.
It all sort of came together with people coming on board to be a part of the show, either as performers or artisans.
Our set designer, Justin, was just in heaven meeting everybody here. He was so excited every time he got a new artist from the street to agree to do a panel for the set. And you could just feel his excitement about collaborating with these people.
Don't forget to come to the big chess ball, the Casa Loma Ballroom tonight.
The Casa Loma Ballroom has been kind of a staple of Cherokee Street, and they wanted me to do my interpretation of Casa Loma Ballroom, so I did a bunch of my signature eyes on ballroom dancers.
A real street kind of vibe, background, a lot of brick, a lot of just alleyway vibe. It's like Cherokee Street.
The innovation is not a singular sport. Innovation is a community-wide team sport. And that's what I think this represents, is community.
We told the story based on who was going to tell it with us. Who the cast was and who our collaborators were and the people we got the story from. It wasn't like, okay, now I'm going to tell that story you just told me. Let me take your hand and you and I will now go on stage together and we'll tell that story together. And in that way, this kind of theater can be uniquely relevant to an audience.
It was very delicately and objectively and sensitively adapted to what we are as a community.
Places in my life and time.
The many sort of strata of immigrants, of African Americans, of business owners, of Latino immigrants, of young hipsters moving in and building galleries and coffee shops, that they're all living and working together as a collective.
People are pretty diverse and fun and different personalities, and I love it. Nice people.
And I like the people, and I love Shakespeare in the streets, and in the park and in the schools and everything. So anything what it's got to do with Shakespeare, I'm in it.
And there was a point where we looked at each other and we thought, this play is not a call to arms. This play is a celebration of this beautiful place.